We begin the program with Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator, let's start with NSA surveillance and the revelation that we listened in, among others, on Germany's Angela Merkel's private conversations. Is this just business as usual, as General Clapper says, and do you believe that President Obama didn't know anything about it?
It's hard to believe he didn't know, and my question is, are they tapping the president's phone also? He's got a cell phone.
You mean NSA or the Germans?
Well, the NSA. I mean, you think about it, and I say that a bit facetiously, but at the same time, the warrants that are coming out of the FISA court are so expansive and without limit and non-specific that they apply to all cell phones. So conceivably, the NSA could be spying on the president's phone.
You think that's conceivable?
Well, I mean, not in a bulk way, yes, that he could be included. Now, I think he's encrypted. He's protecting himself from his own spy agency because he's got his phone encrypted, but do the rest of Americans have to get encrypted phones?
There are also reports that the NSA spied on communication links of Yahoo and Google without telling. Now, there's no law against that, but was that an overreach? And should Yahoo and Google be able to release all of the requests they get from NSA?
The definition of overreach is everything the NSA has been doing over the last several years.
So Yahoo
We've gone
and Google
too far. We've gone too far. The president likes to say there's a balance between liberty and privacy. Well, and government, we've gone overboard on every venue. This needs to be reassessed, and the most important question of all this to me, and of any reform, is this needs to be assessed, debated, and discussed in an open format before the Supreme Court. It totally goes against everything our country stands for to have a secret court. FISA meets in secret. There are no two sides. The government presents evidence. There's no one to present another point of view, and then to decide in secret what the Fourth Amendment applies to.
Would you like to see Google and Yahoo and others be able to release the requests
Absolutely.
they get?
Absolutely. But you know what I would also do, and they may not like this so much, is the Patriot Act took away liability protection or gave them liability protection. My privacy agreement with any of these internet companies is only so good as they believe that I could sue them over it. If I can't sue them over it, my privacy agreement means nothing.
So release the information but take away liability.
Absolutely.
Let's turn to the Fed. You have said that you want to hold up the nomination of Janet Yellen until you get a vote on your Fed audit bill. Harry Reid says he has the votes to get it Yellen passed now. Does he? And what kind of support do you have? How long can you hold her up? Will you filibuster?
Well, here's the whole thing. The Audit the Fed bill passed in the House after 20 years of my dad agitating on this. Every Republican and 100 Democrats. Overwhelmingly bipartisan transparency bill. Apparently, Janet Yellen's been in favor of transparency at the Fed. That's all we're asking for is an open audit a year after the fact. I think that there are a lot of people in middle-class America, what some want to call flyover America, where I live, who are concerned about the revolving door from the Treasury to Wall Street firms to the Federal Reserve. And our concern is, are any of these manipulations of money and money being distributed helping people personally? Are people becoming wealthy off of policy that we should know about?
I want to ask you one more question about that, but how about Yellen per se? Will that nomination be approved this year? Will you be able to hold it up? Will you filibuster it?
In the old days, you could place a hold on and keep it forever. Even if I stand on the floor and filibuster in a personal fashion, I can only hold it up for 2 days.
So she's going to be confirmed? In
all likelihood, yes. But I want to draw attention to the fact that Audit the Fed has been held hostage by Senator Reid for 3 years. And once upon a time, he was for Audit the Fed. We have floor speeches all through the 90s. He would come down here with Senator Dorgan, and they were for auditing the Fed. My question is, let us have at least a vote on this.
Some people say that if you take away any independence in the Fed, which an audit would do, that it goes to Congress, and that means the party in power can influence, pressure the central bank to adopt policies to their political liking.
If they're not doing anything untoward, there should be no reason why we couldn't look at it. This doesn't affect any Fed power. It's a look back over a year's period of time. I think it's the very least we can do. The Federal Reserve is a creation of Congress. They are under our jurisdiction. Right now, we're going the opposite way in all of government. The biggest problem, if I could name one problem in all of government, is giving power to agencies that are not directly responsive, either bureaucracies or the Federal Reserve. Like Dodd-Frank, create a whole new agency that's no longer responsive to the people.
If you got a vote on the Senate floor, if you actually got a vote, do you think you could secure 51 votes?
I don't know that we can win. Sometimes they play a game, they don't let you win with 51. You got to have 60. It's unlikely to have 60. We have 25 co-sponsors.